Hey, mamas. Hey, homeschooling parents.
Hey, everybody.
We wanted to say hey to everybody. We are piping into two groups today. We're piping into homeschooling
Yeah,
supermoms and professional home educators. We're excited to be here
yeah.
with you. We're your admins. And I get the pleasure of introducing you to Devin in case you are not familiar with Devin, because we have a lot of new mamas, a lot of new parents in our groups. And Devin is going to talk to us today about outsourcing education for littles. And this is going to be a great topic for those of you
Yeah.
who might be working and homeschooling, or maybe you're just a busy parent and you need some of that time for yourself. So Devin's going to share some great tips with us. Now, you might be wondering, about Devin's background and her, in my opinion, expertise, because when I have a homeschooling question, I go running to Devin. But Devin's been homeschooling for 17 years. She's got
Yeah.
5 kids, wide range of ages. She's got her son that's just entered into college, and then she's got a 5-year-old. And like I said, she's been homeschooling for 17 years. Devin is a wealth of knowledge. And so, Devin, I'm excited to
Yeah.
introduce you today to your workshop. So thanks so much.
Thank you. And this is my favorite stage for homeschooling. This is where I started. Um, I have a lot of opinions about it. I'll try not to be too bossy. And it's my favorite age to work with. It's my favorite age to work with mamas. I have, Cole's in college, then I have a senior and a freshman. Olivia's a middle schooler, and then we've got Lacey, our happy surprise. So I'm gonna show my slides because it keeps me on track, so that I'm not like chasing rabbits and all that kind of stuff.
And while Devin's pulling up her slides, if you are joining us live, we'd love to hear your comments, ideas, suggestions as we go through. Greet us, let us know you're out there. We're happy to talk to you.
There we go. Let's see if I can make that bigger. You know how that is. It's kind of not always
Absolutely.
making that huge. Let's see. Okay. So anyway, if you have questions, let me know. I'm going to tell you right now, outsourcing education with littles. I don't know why I put little. I meant littles. I never, nothing ever goes right when you're in a hurry. But anyway, I see a very big difference between when I homeschooled my first 4 and when I now homeschooling Lacey. And I have found that my season of life has changed. So I'm working, and we had some really great questions in the group last week talking about needing some ideas. So, we did 2 weeks ago, we did homeschooling consistency.
Mm-hmm.
I talked
Yes.
about having a plan B. Well, this is your plan B, or maybe C or D, whatever you want to call it. I mean, sometimes I have 2 or 3 different plans. And this is some of the stuff that I use with Lacey on my work days. A lot of times she will want to, I try not to work and do school on the same days. That works for me. It may not work for another mom who works. But I found I need things to catch her attention when I'm working. So this is some of the stuff I've used. Some stuff I haven't, but I've got a list on here, and we'll go through it. But let me switch this. Let's see. Okay. So here's my disclaimer. I don't recommend not having a plan. I'm like, I don't really want this outsourcing to be your plan A. I feel like this is more looser. This is on those days when you're sick, when the baby's kept you up. This is some stuff to do that they can go along with your plan. I try to coordinate it with Lacey's plan so that she's getting the same stuff both places. But there are times you've got to have things. So
You got to have resources.
you've got to have resources, and these are the ones that I found that I think are great. So 11. Okay, this is not working as well as I'd like it to. So there's my pictures. There's my Lacey. That's why I do everything I do. Isn't she cute?
She's adorable.
Okay, and here, let's see. I made a bunch of extra apps that I didn't need. Okay, so here's some multi-subject apps. They're free and paid. If you want a full curriculum, because that does happen sometimes, Moby Max starts in kindergarten. It's not free. It's about $8 a month, but it is a full curriculum. Khan Academy for kids goes up to 6. That is free. ABC Mouse Adventure Academy, those ABC Mouse is probably up to 6 or 7. Um, I have heard ways on how to get it free. I'm not going to, I'm not going to talk about that. That is an option. You can research that, Google it. There are plenty of people who tell you how to get that free. It's not free, but I've heard of homeschoolers getting that for free. I have Always Ice Creams, Clever Dragons, Mia Academy. Some people use it for supplemental. They say you can use it as a curriculum. It is very thorough. I have the Always Ice Creams, which is just girls. Clever Dragons is just for boys. Mia Academy is co-ed. So those are some options if you need a full curriculum. Time for Learning starts in kindergarten. That is a full curriculum. iExcel is a supplemental. It has all sorts of different multi-subjects in there. Starfall is something that we have used for multiple children. I think it stands the test of time. I find most of my stuff with Lisi there. Lots of games that reinforce math and phonics, PBS Kids games and videos. And then, and there's probably some other easy, let's see, Easy Peasy is free. I'm not including that in the outsourcing, because when you're talking about outsourcing, you're needing less control. And with Easy Peasy, it's not as easy to navigate. So I'm not including that in this list. I'm going to come back over and make sure there's no comments, because I can't see you when I'm looking at my list. But those are multi-levels. Some of them can be curriculum. I would not really say go look for curriculum for before kindergarten, first grade, if that's what you need. And I mean, it's a totally perfectly fine option. I'm learning to release that part of my life. I was never pro online school until the last year. I'm working. I'm getting a lot more relaxed with that. But there are some options out there. Some of them are free, some are not. But they're very, very great options. And I've watched Lisi use many of these, and they're very thorough. But anyway, we'll get broke down into some little stuff. So anyway, no questions. What about you, Susan? You got any questions? You like my list, don't you? You're feeling jealous that you didn't have it.
That I didn't have what? Oh.
That you didn't have it for.
You froze a little bit. Say that again, Devin.
Yeah. Are you feeling jealous that these were not around when Caitlin was little?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
I know. I'm like, this stuff was not there. And me and my husband have had talks, because, I'm seeing a very different teaching style from when my kids were little and now Lisi. And I tried to do everything just like I did with the big kids, and it's not working so well. And he was like, one day, he's like, well, she's the first one that is like a total app generation. They've been here since before she was born, and that's what she sees, and that's what she sees her siblings using, because my kids are they are partially outsourced at this point. They're all high schoolers, middle schoolers. So she sees that, and it's kind of hard to tell a little that they can't do school on an iPad when they see their senior sister doing that. So it's like trying to balance. So I'm finding that I use a lot more than I did.
And things have really improved over the years also. They've learned more about how to do online teaching to help and support you in the homeschooling journey, and to help and support your child through the homeschooling journey.
Yeah, and I mean, but I do want to caution that you don't want to, that when you outsource education, is you're not sitting there, they're not on autopilot. That's not what you want. You need to be aware, because to make sure that they are actually reading. I would still say buy a reading curriculum, even though Teach Your Monster to Read is awesome, and we'll talk about that one in a minute. It is awesome, but you still want to make sure that they're reading. Math, I'm a lot less nervous now that I've seen some really great apps. I actually bought a few. I mean, we'll move to math in a minute, but I've bought a few, and I think math translates to online very, very easily. Phonics, I would not give up the reading curriculum yet, because you just don't want to make a mistake and you don't want to not catch a problem if there's a problem. So if
Exactly.
you're
And
outsourcing, don't,
these are foundational years, so you want to make sure you
it's
keep your finger
important.
on the pulse of what's happening.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so here's some ones with math. Um, any app by Dragonbox. Dragonbox is my absolute favorite. We discovered it. I read an article like probably 10 years ago or around the beginning of apps. A university developed it. It was teaching algebra. And then they started adding more apps. The second one was Elements, and it was for geometry. They have an algebra one that starts at 5 years old. They can go 5 and up, and they have one that's 12 and up. They have some new ones now that I think I've bought almost every app they have now. They have Numbers, which is, preschool, kindergarten, and then elementary is Big Numbers, and we just bought that one this week, and it is awesome. But let's see, which one? What else? Happy Numbers is not an app, but it is a website. They are free this semester, and then there'll be a charge. They've given because of COVID. They're giving things free, and that's a very nice one. Then the regular Khan Academy. The regular Khan Academy starts at early elementary, kindergarten, and that is a free one, and that works. It's a pretty good one. So those are some math ones. So I'm sure there's more. If you go back into the multi-subject ones, there'll be more with math there. But these are the ones that I've used with Lacey. I'm going to admit it. I bought the Big Numbers one last week, and I just about pretty much myself. I set my own self up and played it, and I've pretty much completed the whole thing. And I think I'm gonna have to start over. I played too much. Oh, I like math now. I never knew I would like math, but that was very funny. My husband's like, "Why are you playing her app?" I said, "I set my own thing up." Oh, I went up too much. Okay, so here's some phonics. Free and paid. Teacher Monster to Read is free on the laptop, sometimes free on the app, but well worth the money. It goes through the phonics and teaching phonics. Lacey loves this one. Books is a storybook. That's not phonics, but it's reading. Excuse me. It is storybooks, classic books and new books set to video. They can watch. Like if you don't have time to read, they can watch a video. Sometimes they have crafts you can download. But it was free. It may still be free. I'm not 100% sure. Last year it was free. I'm not sure if it still is though. Story Nori is kind of like a podcast. It has stories and different things to listen to. A lot of classic literature, fables, Greek myths, and set to how a child would like to listen to it. Hoopla is through our Mobile Public Library. Other libraries have it. It has ebooks. It has audiobooks. They have adult and kids, so make sure you check your settings. Duolingo has their foreign language, but this is not about foreign language. They have Duolingo ABCs, and it's phonics. And we actually just started playing with that one this week, and it's pretty well done.
Yeah, I like that you brought up the one about the library, because so many times we forget that the library is this fantastic resource for us.
Great resource.
And great stuff for all ages. And like Devin mentioned, there's children and adults, so make sure you're aware of that.
Yeah.
But the library is a fantastic resource online. So don't forget about that.
Yeah, check your library, whether you're in Mobile or Baldwin County, or if you're somewhere else in the U.S., your library, go look for, on our website, they call it e-resources, and go through their stuff and see what they have. They usually have quite a bit. Most of these apps are standalone. I don't recommend YouTube Kids, and I'll talk about that later, but these are standalone, so they're not able to go and search and find other people, and that's one thing we wanted to be very sure of, because if Lacey was doing school and my attention were caught somewhere, Nick works from home, if his attention was somewhere else, these are safe things. Now, we do occasionally use YouTube, but then at that point, she has to sit with someone so that they see what she's doing and what's going on. But these I feel we've used and I feel very safe that there's no communication abilities. Let's see, let's move that to the next. Okay, so here are some other ideas. Podcasts, which are new to me. I have a list here. I actually will put a link below because I found an article that had like 25 different ones. I just put a few here. Podcast, you can listen to podcasts, find a wealth of information. YouTube for kids, that's one that we watch that one because even though they're set for kids and it's supposed to be somewhat safe, they still have a way of going somewhere else. YouTube playlist, if you have an older child that's, obedient, you can go through a YouTube and make a playlist for them to watch. I have one, but, again, we have someone sit with her. Audiobooks, you can do Audible, you can do Hoopla, your library, whatever company they use. We have 2 or 3 in Mobile. You can listen to audiobooks. And here's some things to do while listening to podcasts and audio. There's Legos and coloring pages, arts and crafts, sensory bins. One thing I did with my kids were little and that I do with Lacey now, I've got a list. I actually made a list. Who knew? We'll come back to this one in a minute. We made creative play boxes. We would have a block box, Lego box, Tinker box. I'm having a day with my writing. Tinker box, not Tinder. Sorry. Arts and crafts box, sewing box. And these things I actually used a fishing tackle box that were really cheap at Walmart. And I just had like 6 and I would have them packed and I would store them away. They were locked and stored away. And then I would just pull out one at a time and just switch them out. So, you can have Legos. All these things will work while they're listening or listening to a book or listening to whatever. And then their hands are busy and they're not quite so wiggly.
Yeah, while you're switching to your slides, I did a post similar to this past week in my group, and some of the mamas, their ideas were just
fabulous.
amazing.
I read that. It was just fabulous.
Yes, like one mama, and I thought this was such a great point that she has them draw as they're reading the story, but then she has them draw about 1 or 2 things that's in the story as she's reading it to them, and then she has them tell them back to the mom. And I thought, what a fantastic idea.
And you can find, I think it's called primary notebooks or primary paper, where the first half is like a drawing area and the second half is like handwriting lines. And that would be an easy, and it's all together. You can use it as a journal. So there's lots of great ideas. I'm going to start investigating these podcasts. So there's Wow of the World, Little Stories for Tiny People, Ear Snacks, Story Pirates, What If World, Brains On, Dream Big, But Why. So I don't know these. Podcasts are new to me, but I'm going to link the article I found most of these on. They had like 25. And so you can go and we'll investigate them together. There'll be new things to see. I'm looking for ways looking for a reason to buy some kind of thing. But that's the bulk of what I've got for y'all today. I know somebody wanted a YouTube playlist. I have not investigated YouTube channels yet, but I will start looking for a good list and see if I can find something that has something for littles, because there's tons and tons of information out there. It's just a matter of, with YouTube, it's better for you to be a little bit more observant because there's a lot of bad too. So.
Yeah, and as Devin mentioned, we all need those moments of time, right? Where maybe our hands are full, things are going on, maybe one child's sick, the other child as well, and you need to pay attention to the child that's under the weather. Maybe we're working and also homeschooling, and we need those moments of just a few minutes here or there to do things or to have that meeting online. So these are really great resources for you to kind of
we really have a lot.
Yeah, really think through and get creative with it, because that's what's really neat about homeschooling is that you have that ability to do a lot of creative ideas and
Mhm.
creative types of work with your kids. Because we all need those moments of time, all of us. Doesn't matter how old our
Yeah,
kids are, but especially with our littles, because it can be really challenging to find things that
yeah.
will occupy them as we go through our day.
Yeah, and the thing is if you do a little bit of prep and you have a plan before before you're too busy or the child is sick, then you don't feel like you're failing, and that's having a plan B or a plan C. Sometimes we need two or three plans because plan A doesn't always happen.
Right. And just, and I oftentimes would confuse and I think, well, the play doesn't count as learning. Well, yeah, they're learning while they're playing.
They're
You
learning a
know,
lot.
they're learning a ton. So, play is good for them and a great time for them to learn, and it gives you opportunities to do things too.
Play is good for every age level, and that's something we need to not forget. So whether they're high school, middle school, upper elementary, littles, play's a good thing.
Yeah, the more you have fun while you're learning, the more you learn.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, podcast are one of the things we're going to put into rotation and audiobooks. So that's something new I'm working on to get set up.
Yeah, that sounds great. So, as mamas or parents, because I know mine's focused in on mamas, and yours is focused in
Hmm.
on parents. If you guys have ideas of things that you find that are really helpful for outsourcing education so that
Yeah.
your hands are a little bit more free to deal with whatever it is in life that you need to deal with, drop us a note in the comments, or after the recording of the video, let us know. We would love to hear your ideas. They're all so helpful. It helps other mamas as well as gives us information also.
Yeah, because yeah, especially if you're not new to podcasts, let us know if something's great. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right,
okay.
Devin, this is wonderful. Gives us a bunch of great ideas. And so thank you so
Mhm.
much.
It's my pleasure. I had fun.
Yeah, me too. So we're all looking forward to seeing you guys in the future. So thanks for joining us. And Devin, thank you for your presentation. And hopefully this will give you guys some creative ideas and let us know your creative ideas as well. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.